I think it's like a bunch of little. No, I don't.
Hey everybody. Um, Here let me turn on my camera. Hey. Um, let me um I'm still trying to make a thumbnail, y'all, just so y'all know, but let me make sure my audio is doing what it needs to do. Give me a second. Because we got a bit of things to go over, y'all. Listen. They are literally trying on Instagram to like bully me out of my standards. But y'all know me, it just ain't gonna happen. Y'all know it's not gonna happen. But hold on for a second. I was trying to make this thumbnail really quickly because we got quite a bit to talk about. We do. We got some dust to talk about. They over here hating on Beyonce already because y'all know Beyonce dropped a country music album, which I already knew. I already kind of figured it. I figured she was going to because like when Beyonce showed up to the Grammys decked out in country gear, I kind of was wondering, okay, is she about to go country? Like, and she is. She's already released a country album. I don't know. Y'all let me know if she released the album or did she release some singles. But we're gonna talk about Oklahoma hating on Beyonce because they definitely doing it. And it just like, why? It's just like, stop hating on this lady for going into a genre that Black people created anyway. But this is the results of Black people allowing other people into their genres, which I mean, other groups of people don't do. As y'all see, even the genres that they co-opt, they want to try to lock you out of something that's not even theirs that they co-opted. So we just got like a bit to talk about. I want to show y'all this post on Instagram where, like I said, they're trying to, and when I say they're trying to, I mean Black people, both Black men and Black women, think that they're going to bully me out of my standard. And you guys know, here, hold on, let me adjust my camera a little bit. The standard that I'm talking about is my standard that I don't support Black men who date and marry out. And it's just really not going to change. But I mean, y'all listen, they are on they on Instagram thinking they in for a rude awakening because they on Instagram thinking they about to bully me into changing my stance. It's like, if you don't get out of here. Like, I made one comment about, Usher's new fiance or wife now, and they really sitting up there thinking they about to bully me. And it's like, no, absolutely not. I will not be bullied, nor will I change my standard. But that's what I'm saying when I say that the community is used to Black women not having standards. They're used to Black women essentially just supporting anything that Black men do. So when they see a Black woman with standards, they try to shame and bully and ostracize. But it's like those tactics, they don't work on me. For the most part, I don't value the opinion of Black men. Like, they could just never sway my opinion one way or the other. And this has been an issue since even when I got online, because if you guys know, when I first came to YouTube, bandits were thinking they were going to bully me into not talking about what I wanted to talk about. And that's because largely they've been able to effectively bully other Black women. And they're used to being able to shame Black women. Like, a lot of Black women won't even freely speak their opinion for fear of judgment and ostracization by other Black people. But I'm not built like that. I don't really care about, I was just never one that was really susceptible to peer pressure. And everybody who knows me knows that I'm not a person that you're going to pressure into anything. You're not going to browbeat me into anything. You're not going to shame me into anything. I'm going to do what I feel like I need to do, what is best for me. And if what is best for me is not supporting monetarily a man who chose to marry within the white community, then that's just what it's going to be. But I want y'all to see how much they're trying to, how much the extent to which they're going to attempt to bully me. And it's really just not going to work. And this is why I want to start things off talking about standards, expectations, and boundaries, because y'all know this is something that I promote. I heavily promote Black women needing to develop standards, expectations, and boundaries. Some people will say that, Black women already have standards, expectations, and boundaries, and that standards, expectations, and boundaries are already taught to Black women. Black women don't need standards, expectations, and boundaries, but that's a lie. That's a lie. You can't have a Black male worshiping culture that promotes the notion of ride or die and blind loyalty and then teach standards at the same time. These are contradictory notions. So standards, expectations, and boundaries goes against Black male worship. It just does. It goes against Black male worship. And that's just what they don't like. They don't like it. But we need to have standards, expectations, and boundaries. You shouldn't just support a Black man just because he's Black. And Black men certainly don't. Black men certainly don't. The Divine One said Black men collectively are so low on the totem pole of manhood, they should be required to pee sitting down. Exactly. Hashtag stop listening to them. I really wish, Divine, that we could make that one go viral, because we shouldn't listen to them. And I think that if Black women realize that by and large, they're not a prize, they're nobody that you should listen to, their opinion simply shouldn't matter. It's not like they can withdraw anything. Like the only thing Black men can take away from Black women is their physical presence. And that would be more of a benefit to you than a hindrance. So like, if you don't provide anything, you can't really withdraw anything. You can't withdraw where you don't provide. And so Black men don't do anything for me. I don't need them for anything. They don't provide anything, so they can't punish me, but they're trying to. And so let me share the screen, because I did some additional content for the Patreon subscribers who signed up for it, and I did a lesson on standards, expectations, and boundaries. It's going to be a series, but the first one that I'm doing is standards. So I did a video presentation on standards, what they are, why we should get them, so forth and so on. And in that lesson, I said that because Black women largely don't have any standards, expectations, or boundaries, is literally like a free-for-all. Black men can do whatever they want to. There's no consequences. Because of that, there's going to be some pushback. The reason there's going to be pushback is because, one, Black men are not used to it. And number two, it simply doesn't benefit Black men. It benefits Black men for Black women to not have any standards, expectations, and boundaries. Hold on, you guys. I need to close my windows so that we don't have people hearing my live stream, because it's just not needed. It's not. I'm not worried or scared or anything. I just don't want certain people. My content is not for them or directed at them. So hold on, y'all. My nose is starting to run. I'm gonna have to take some I'm gonna have to do some nasal spray really quickly. So hold on. Let me put some nasal spray in, because my allergies are like all over the place. Give me 1 second. Let me snort my little nasal spray. Okay. Hopefully that Flonase will kick in and make it where I'm not having a runny nose. My nose just started running. So I had to get it. But yeah, standards, Black women having standards, expectations, and boundaries, it doesn't benefit Black men. It doesn't benefit the culture of Black male worship, because it runs contradictory to Black male worship. The way to actually demolish the Black male worshiping culture is to establish standards, expectations, and boundaries. But in order for you to actually develop and stick to standards, expectations, and very firm boundaries, you have to have a high level of self-love and confidence. You have to. Because in the Black community, they're going to attempt to tear you down. So you have to be willing to stand firm on your standards. And what they don't like in this comment section is that I'm standing very firm on my standard. And y'all know I've been coming out and saying one of the standards that you should adopt and stick to is not supporting Black men who choose to be with white women. It just is what it is. That is a standard that I have. It's not because there's anything wrong with the white woman per se. It's really not even about the white woman. It's about the mindset of these males. So therefore, I choose to not support them. They want to try to browbeat me into into supporting them. Because look, so on here it says Usher reportedly married, which okay, that's fine. He can marry whoever he wants to, right? Black men fought for the right to marry outside their race. This was something that was very important to them. Even in the midst of them being lynched, they were at the Supreme Court petitioning for access to women of no color. So being able to be with women of no color is very important to Black men. It gives them a sense of acceptance. They feel like their social status is being elevated. They feel like they basically feel like men of no color will embrace them if they're connected to a woman of no color. They feel like they can navigate white male spaces. They'll be seen as less of a threat. So nearly all of the reasons they want to be tied to white women has to do with either white men or Black women, because they also want to weaponize these women against Black women, and largely they've been successful. We know that they've been successful. So as you see, I came on here and said Black women need to stop supporting him now. If you pay to support him, you're paying to support that white woman, and you are. You just are. If they're married, whatever money you funnel to Usher is going to be funneled to this woman of no color. Especially if he married her in Vegas, which I think Vegas is a community property state. Let me see if Nevada a community property state. A community, I believe it's a community property state. Yeah, it is. Yep, Nevada is a community property state. This means that each spouse owns 50% of the property, assets, and debts acquired during the marriage. Upon divorce or legal separation, courts distribute these assets and debts equally between the spouses, a marital dissolution settlement agreement. So, meaning, because he married her in Vegas, what's his is hers. Half of what's his is hers. So half of the money that you pour into Usher is going directly to that white woman. There's no way around it. And I'm not going to do that. I'm just not going to. The reality is Black women built up Usher's career. And granted, yes, he was with 2 Black women. He was with Shilly and he was with, y'all let me know the other one, Tamika. I think her name was Tamika. Correct me if I'm wrong. So he was married to Tamika and he dated Chili. However, my standard is still what my standard is. I'm not going to support Usher as long as he marries white. It just is what it is. I'm not going to. And they want to browbeat me. Like, look at these comments. Like, there's people in here saying you're bitter or you're racist. Like, you have this person saying, do you have nothing better to do than worry about who he's dating, grow up? That's a bitter and lonely mindset to have. Mind you, he doesn't even know you exist. Right. If he doesn't know I exist, there's no point in me supporting him. But it's like, it's not about bitterness. It's about the fact that I have a standard. They're seeking to shame me out of my standards. Look at this. What the F is wrong with y'all? Then somebody on here, a Black woman, mind you, I want y'all to look at this woman and tell me if she's Black men's preference. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. This woman ain't even his preference. Okay? This woman ain't even Black men's preference. Based on her phenotype is too Afrocentric. So they wouldn't even like her. Yet here she is, not knowing the difference between race and ethnicity, talking about she's not white. She is white. This is a white woman. Black people, unfortunately, still in 2024, still don't know the difference between race, ethnicity, nationality, and culture. It's a problem. But look, bitter, this woman, Kylie, she's in here responding. But look, why should we give a F about who he sleep with? We not in high school. What he eat don't make us shit. Is it really that deep? Yes, who my money goes to, it matters. It matters. They're basically trying to tell me, no, you need to support this Black man anyway. Because mind you, none of these people should care. None of them should care. But the reason they care is because this is on a public post where I'm encouraging other Black women to adopt the same standard. If other Black women adopt the same standard, Black men have no support. They won't have any support. Because even though they'll go marry into these communities don't support Black men. You don't see a woman of no color running around with Jonathan Majors going into court to support him. You see Megan Good doing that. Megan Good is being propped up to do that. Women of no color are taking him to court. They're taking him to court. So women of no color are just not going to support Black men. Even when they marry into that community, even if they're married to a Black man, they're not going to support Black men. They're not. Black men want you to continue to support them, even when they show their disloyalty, because it's beneficial for them. They get to have their cake and eat it too. Essentially, they get to put another group of women on a pedestal above you, invest in those women, and still get your monetary support, because Black women are the only people on the face of the planet who even would consider supporting Black men. Nobody else supports Black men. Usher would not be where he is if it weren't for Black women. He would not. So at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what they say. They can say whatever they want to, because none of these people mean anything to me. None of these people mean anything to me. And that's what they don't understand. Your opinion doesn't matter to me if you don't matter to me. And an avatar in an Instagram comments, it just does not matter to me. They're irrelevant. So none of it matters. I want to show you the level of shaming here. Look, you spend more money with far worse people. He wants to know, are you being serious? Like, they really don't like these standards. I'm telling you. The way that you check Black men, get some firm standards, expectations, and boundaries. Clearly define what they are and stand on them. Because no matter what these people say, my standard, it just ain't gonna change. It's just not gonna change. I'm not gonna change my standard because of what any of these people say. It just won't happen. But they think that they can. Because nobody should be sitting up here trying to bully someone into monetarily supporting a person that they don't want to support. These people are not making the deposits into my bank account. They don't. They make no deposits into my bank account. But they want to sit here and tell me where my money should be going. And it's like, no, I'm going to put my money into whatever I want to put it into. And if I don't want it to go into a Black man that's with a woman of no color, no amount of shaming is going to change that. Yeah, they're on here calling me racist and bitter, and it just don't matter. You can say all of that. I'm still not going to support them, though. So it's like at the end of the day, you just jumped into a comment section and wasted your time trying to convince somebody to get rid of a standard that they're not going to get rid of. But they do this because they're used to being able to do this. This is the reason a lot of Black women don't want to speak freely. And I saw this all over YouTube when I first got on there too. But look, if a Black man wants to be with a white woman, who cares? Why are you complaining for? It's like, I'm not complaining. I'm just saying I'm not going to support him. He can be with whoever he wants to. But at the end of the day, I'm not going to support him. But they want to be able to lay up with these women and still get your support. And they shouldn't be able to. They shouldn't be able to. You're saying the woman is the troll? This woman here doesn't look like a troll. She doesn't look like, nothing that she's saying is coming off as trolly to me. And I'm going to put the link in the chat box so y'all can come up here if y'all want to too. Actually, let me do that just in case y'all want to come up here and talk about, if y'all want to come up here and talk about this bullying or share any experience that you've had. If you were bullied because of a standard or something that you chose that you didn't want to do. If you faced bullying, we can talk about that too. But let me put the link in there. Plus, me putting the link in there will, if Zoom chooses to shut down, I'll be able to come to the chat box and just pull it right back up. So here we go. Yeah, but this is a standard of mine. I'm not about to be bullied into I'm not going to be bullied into supporting Usher. I was going to go to Usher's residency. I was going to go to Usher's residency because I really wanted to see him in concert. But I'm not going to go see him. I'm not going to pay thousands of dollars to go see Usher perform. And he's over here married to a woman of no color. I'm just not going to do that. I'm just not going to do that. Bill Nye said, I'm bullied every day for being a single mom of 4 at 28. Yeah, don't let anybody bully you. Just learn from that circumstance. Okay, Jay, I'll go in there. If your name is the same, then yeah, I'll go in there and approve you. I thought I opened it up to where anybody could just be on there, but apparently I didn't. I'm gonna have to figure out how to do it. And if y'all know if y'all are able to tell me how do I make it where you guys can jump on my Discord, let me know because I have a Discord. I'm not used to using it. I want to put the link to the Discord so y'all can join so we can just chat it up in between live streams and stuff and content. Like when I'm not on Patreon, y'all will be able to communicate. But I don't know how to work it. So I'm gonna have to figure that out. If y'all know how, let me know. So Oporio said, I was going to go see him too until I saw your video that morning. The truth only said I'm usually bullied for not wanting to have kids unless a doctor or better marries me. Yeah, because you're having standards and your standard goes against Black men. I'm telling you, your standard goes against the best interest of Black men. But this is the only way to correct something. This is the only way to correct something, to correct the system in our community, the Black male worshiping system, to counteract it. You have to get standards, expectations, and boundaries, and you have to be willing to stand on it no matter how much pressure you're getting. Look, they are mad about it. Look at all the hate in the comments. It doesn't, like, this isn't going to change anything. Look, a black woman doing it. These are Black women advocating for me to support a Black man who's with a white woman. Have the same energy when a Black man is dating a Black woman. I'm not going to do that. I'm still going to support Black women who are with white men. I want y'all to know that now. Yes, it's a double standard. They can think it's not fair. I'm still going to support Black. The only Black women who are with men of no color that I won't support is those who are like Candace Owens. Now, Candace Owens, I'm not going to support that. And it's more because of Candace Owens and what she stands for. But I'm still going to support Black women who are with white men. I'm still going to. It's not the same. And they can act like it's the same. Look, so people can't love who they want to love anymore. How am I stopping somebody from loving who they want to love by simply saying I'm not going to support them? He can still love that person. I'm just not going to support him while he's loving and married to that person. I'm not going to. I'm not going to. This is not fair to Black women. No other group of women have to deal with this. Resources going outside of the community and directly into the pockets of the very system that these Black men complain about. They complain about this system, but they have no problem marrying into it. No problem marrying into it. And look, no man wants masculine energy. You got people on here saying she's not white. It's like the woman is white. It just is what it is. The woman is white. And they're trying to change her race to try and make it seem like, oh, this isn't a white woman. Ladies, feel free to jump in if you want to. Just lightly interrupt me and ask if you can speak if you want to. But it's like, I'm not telling this man who he can love. I don't care who he dates. I have a standard. They don't like it. Look, saying who pissed in your Cheerios today. We not dealing with that racist shit in 2024 next. You don't get to tell me what my standards are. It's like you don't. And I did respond to these people too, but there's like over 300 comments here. This person saying, oh, somebody hurt you. Jesus, you sound like you were born in 1847. It's 2024. Let love lead and let that hate go. What does hatred have to do with me standing on my standard? What does that have to do with that? And then they look, what? First, the woman is Puerto Rican. Second, what? It's like learn the difference between race and ethnicity and nationality. This is the white woman. Her race is white. You can tell me what her nationality, her culture, or her ethnicity is, but this is the white woman. Her race is white. I'm not about to sit up here and support a Black man who's married to a white woman. It's not going to happen. Look at this. Black women have an inferiority complex. By the way, she a whole Latina. What you mean? This is how Black women became brainwashed. This is how you've been brainwashed into supporting something that you don't agree with. And you have a right to not agree with this. Do you think anybody in the white community is shaming men of no color for their standard? The fact that they're saying largely they're not going to deal with women of no color who date Black men? No, ain't nobody ostracizing them. And men of no color stand on it. And I'm going to stand on this. Look, y'all so hurt. You need help. Call your ancestors. Another Black woman, one who is in preference to Black men, shut up. The community attacks you for having a standard. Now, mind you, a Black man marrying a white woman does not benefit this Black woman. She's doing this in honor of Black male worship when Black men sit up and trash women who look like her all day, every day.
Hey,
All
Sin.
day, every day. Hi.
Hi. Thank you for covering this. I just wanted to say, yeah, we definitely have been bullied. I think one of the things we've been bullied into, just in general, is like accepting Latino as a race when we know that there's a bunch of Black people who are Latino, and because if you ever meet them, 9 times out of 10, they'll be like, "Oh, I'm Latino," or "I'm Afro Latino," and it's like we just completely forget about that, and we have to like just see them or put them on like a pedestal that they're like some separate race when they're not. And I don't understand why anyone's arguing. But yeah, I mean, I've definitely been bullied. When I was younger, my mom would bully me for not wanting to listen to music made by a lot of Black men because I just didn't like what they were singing about. And she would like give me this whole speech about, oh, well, this is Dr. Dre and this is what he did and this is why they're so great. Blah 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 blah. I remember when Straight Outta Compton movie came out. She took me to go see it. I was still a minor, so I went. I went with her, and I remember just like trying to hold back tears because I'm just like, this is the type of stuff that like my mom likes. And like over the years, like she's not as much as a Black male worshiper, but I remember I would call it being bullied just because I would have to listen to her lecture me about, oh, well, these people did all of these great things. You can't hold them, you can't hold this one thing that they did that was wrong to their character because they did so many great things. And that just never sat well with me. And then I remember when I was on the cheer team in college, there was someone who asked me out and he was a football player. And I was like, I'm sorry, I don't date football players. And like literally the entire cheer team like hazed me, and he was Black, and I think that added to it. But most of the girls in the cheer team, they weren't even Black. Most of them were white. We had like, I was maybe one of 3 Black girls on the cheer team. So yeah, it's definitely real. It's so real that you have like non-Black people defending them, especially when it's us like rejecting them in any type of way. So yeah, I just wanted to share that the bullying is definitely real. It's not just because of you or, who you are, your channel or anything.
Well, the thing is, the cultural dynamic, the way that it is now, Black women's mentality, the way that it is now, Black women's unwillingness to hold Black men accountable for anything, the way it is now, is largely due to this bullying and shaming. And the fact that Black women would jump into a comment section and try to ostracize another Black woman for saying, I'm not going to support a Black man who's showing by his behavior that he values these women more so than he values the very women who put the money in his pockets and support him to be usher, is a problem. And I like to try to point this out so I can show how we as Black women, how we help this dynamic to continue. There shouldn't be any Black women in here trying to pressure another Black woman into supporting Black men who are with white women. That shouldn't exist, because we already know Black men do not support Black women who are with white men. And not only do Black men not support Black women who are with white men, they encourage other Black men not to support Black women who are with white men. So all I'm doing is returning their energy to them. I'm simply adopting the same standard that they have. This is the standard that Black men have. They don't support Black women with white men. They're very vocal. They're very vocal about it. Let this have been Serena Williams and Alexis Ohanian. In fact, there actually is a post. There's a post with Chili and her new man on there, and all you see in the comments is Black men dragging her. So Black men have this standard. They don't want you to have it because you're the only support system they have. You have other support systems. Believe it or not, Black women do have other support systems in society. Black men don't. And they shouldn't, because they're men. This is patriarchy. So at the end of the day, while Black women have other support systems, the only support system Black men have is Black women. They don't want to lose that support. That's what this bullying is about. They don't want to have to meet anybody's standards. They don't want there to be any restrictions on your support. They want you to have open support for them, no matter how disloyal they are, no matter how treasonous they are, no matter how much they don't support you. They still want you to have that support for them. And I'm saying no. Look, the real question is, why are you so effing racist? This is a person who was mad because of my standard. Oh, somebody put an Amber Alert out? Okay. Yeah, somebody done stole a child. Like, look at these comments. This says, maybe I'm a part of the older generation who couldn't care less, but the closest I've seen to Black women being attacked for effing around with white men is one, niggas joking about Doja entertaining racism in them chat rooms, two, Dr. Umar, who attacks every Black person for messing with a lick of white regardless. In conclusion, y'all older MFs just bitter. So you're bitter because you want to control where your money goes, instead of having a dumb, stupid, unspoken rule in the Black community that you're forced to support bandits who are treasonous. No, I'm not doing it. Look, this was so ignorant. Google her. She has her own money. The internet is just disgusting, just miserable. They're mad. Look at how mad they are. Look at how mad they are. And they're doing this because they want other Black women to know that the Black community doesn't stand for them having any type of standard. Look, as you're wearing a white woman's hair, Black women do not own this man. You're going to cancel a man with no real scandals because his wife not Black. So what, you definitely not giving Black women a good name or doing any justice, being negative. And I don't care about this. It's like, you said this, okay, that's fine. And look, she's Italian and Puerto Rican. Also, who cares? I love his music, and who he marries is not my business. Black men have trained Black women well. Look at her. Black men have done a good job training Black women. Because it's like, I don't care what you say. You can support him then. And that's what I told her. If you want to spend your money on this man, spend your money on this man. And if it's not your business, then mind your own business and stop worrying about where I spend my money. If I said I'm not spending money on Black men who with white women, then I'm not doing it. Look, a false equivalency. Well, taxpayers likely support you, so what's the problem? No, it's more likely that I'm a taxpayer who would support this nameless, faceless person. Look, another black woman, and oh, this is a black man. Y'all do realize he has literally been with multiple black women. Attraction is not a choice. So now Usher doesn't have a choice but to marry a white woman. Attraction is not a choice, it's just something that happens. Y'all always think just because someone doesn't date the same race, it's a problem. It's good to explore outside of what you know. And it's also good to have standards. And my standard, and I'm gonna let me be very clear with him so he'll know. It's also good to have standards. Because you're not browbeating me. And one of mine, talking, it's like, okay, he can do whatever he wants to. It's like, let him do whatever you want to. Do what floats your boat. Yes, he can engage in whatever behavior he wants to. There's consequences to said behavior. Look, here you go. Go sit down somewhere and stop hating. Why are you negative? Please don't do that, please. Advocating for this black man to marry a white woman, but still retain the support of black women. Who does that benefit? Hey, Divine.
Hey, darling, how are you?
Good. How are
Hope
you?
you can hear me. I'm hanging in there, girl. They're working on my house right now, driving me crazy.
You
Um,
see foolishness here?
huh?
You see this foolishness?
Yes, I do, child. And this has always been the recipe. It's always been the razor blade and the apple, because you have black women sitting over here. Did you see those comments? Well, you of course you saw them. I'm planning some time where I can go and respond to each and every one of them, because I need those black women to understand two things. One, all these black men that you keep defending will not defend you. Where are the "I love you" black women videos? Okay, what black man is hiring black women in critical roles, displaying their dominance in any field, displaying their ability to provide resources to black women? You see it all the time with white men. That's why the majority of human resource managers are white women. They're the gatekeepers. So I don't understand why you have so many black women. A lot of black women just need to sit down and eat their food. If another black woman comes in and say what you won't say, then do the same thing what black men have been doing for all these many years now. Where are the black men that actually go after these black men that are all over social media talking about, I don't like black women because I only date white women because, feeling whatever negative connotation about black women? You don't see the black men going checking those men. So why are black women constantly trying to check other women for saying, I'm going to not support these black men who chose to interracially date and take their resources to other groups of women?
Because they're not used to it. Black women, the thing of it is in the past, black women used to, like, even in those documentaries that I showed from like the 1970s, which
Mm-hmm.
1973 was like 5 years after Loving versus Virginia passed. So the fact that 5 years after Loving versus Virginia passed, black women were sitting up talking about why is it that black men choose white women over them, that tells you a lot. Because again,
Mm-hmm.
this is 5 years after the law passed, and you already have a problem with black men weaponizing white women against black women. So black women were complaining. Black men decided to silence them with shaming tactics. So now you have black women literally agreeing to dynamics that they don't like. Black women do not like black men being with white women. They don't like it. And
And
for
literally browbeating. They browbeat you into accepting this woman. A lot of them are not the most attractive women that they flaunt into the black community at all. But then you have these black women saying, moving to a point of saying, oh, well, I'm not bothered. You don't have to be bothered. Just don't spend your money over there.
Yeah, and it's like, I'm not bothered. I don't care who Usher lays down with. Usher can be with whoever he wants to. It doesn't affect me. He can love whoever he wants to. He can marry whoever he wants to. On the same token, though, I can put my money wherever I want to or choose to withdraw it from whoever I want to. And they've done a good job, Black men have, in not only brainwashing Black women to pretend that they're okay with this, but also to get other Black women to help them to shame and bully Black women into accepting this. Because we all know Black women do not like the fact that they keep seeing Black men with white women. We know that Black women don't like it. But Black women are so afraid to speak out because of the shaming. They don't want to be called bitter. They don't want to be called insecure. They don't want to be called jealous. I don't care about any of those things. I already know I can care less about this white woman. Nothing about her would make me jealous. Do I expect to be the bride of Usher? No, Usher's not even attractive to me. But they're assuming that because you take issue with this, that somehow it's because you're jealous, that you want Usher. No, I have a standard, and my standard is going to stay my standard. Nobody on the internet or in the Black community is going to bully me. And what I think that they don't like more is that they can't bully me, because bullying has been super effective. It's the same thing on YouTube. Bandits were happy over that woman of no color, even though they shouldn't be celebrating, because at the end of the day, you're still nothing as bitches with no power. You didn't get me off of YouTube. It's like, you're not the ones who got me off of YouTube. So you really shouldn't be happy. And you really shouldn't be happy. But they have been trying to do this because I won't back down. And because they've seen Tariq go after me, they've seen Shannon Sharp try to drag me on Twitter. They've seen Corey Holcomb go after me. They've seen what was that judge's name? Judge Joe Brown. They've seen Judge Joe Brown attack me, and I still won't back down. So they've seen a whole bunch of people over the course of the year try to bully and harass me into not doing what I'm doing and not saying what I'm saying, and I'm still standing on it, and I'll continue to stand on it. But unfortunately, most Black women won't. Most Black women are very susceptible to this level of bullying. They are, unfortunately.
Oh no, I was just going to add to that, because it's not mistaken that you listed all of those Black men that's supposed to be so powerful, so influential, but it still took that white woman to come after you with whatever she did behind the scenes to get you off. Okay, they couldn't do it. Just like they couldn't do it on their own with Loving v. Virginia. They couldn't. It's so many things as far as what they put their time and resources in, and it seems to always be geared toward or against Black women. So I don't understand why it's hard for you to have a standard, why you shouldn't have a standard as to who you support with your money, but they can marry and date all of these women that, for one, Chris Brown, I doubt any one of those white women that you always have at your table can name one song you did or even recite a verse, okay? Trey Songz included, all these different Black men that put so much value in whiteness. And I have to point this out. When it comes to the money, Black people account for what, $1.7 trillion of GDP in this country. And if that's collectively Black people all together, but Black men have this deficit annually of $50 billion. So where's the money coming, Black women? Okay, that's where it's collectively coming from. Y'all have to stop, Black women collectively. You do have to stop supporting a lot of these Black men or Black adjacent men. With your money, you are funding your own demise at this point.
Yeah, and what Black women need to understand is you're not bitter if you choose where you want to put your support. You shouldn't give open support no matter what they're doing. And there's Black women who will say, well, Usher's never opened his mouth to say anything negative about Black women. And it's so dense, because most of what you're saying doesn't come out your mouth anyway. Most of what you're saying is you see it through action. you engage in certain behaviors. By
Mhm.
Usher choosing to marry a white woman, he's saying quite a bit. He's saying that at the very least, he no longer wants to invest in Black women. He wants to go invest in somebody else. And it's like, okay, well, if you don't want to invest in Black women, why should you get Black women support? Why
Why
should you?
isn't he getting the mixed race? What is she, Portuguese or something? Whatever her mixture is, why can't that group of that community support them? Why? I bring it back to Alphonse Riviera, okay? Back when he was doing one of them shows and they were doing some tightrope situation, he kissed this white woman in practice, and the producers came and told them, hey, that won't play well in the Midwest. He did not say Black women. And what have we seen Mr. Alfonso Riviera doing these last 1,000 years? And seeing like Eric, the reason why his career is in shambles is has something to do with Black women not liking the woman he chose to marry. You were told specifically why, sir. Okay. So it doesn't, all of you're going to get that charge of being bitter. You're always going to get that charge of being angry, of being jealous. I say it's time to go ahead on and pin the tail on the donkey. Let them see what an angry Black woman is finally. They've never seen an angry Black woman.
Look at this. You're a freaking weirdo to be that invested and emotionally impacted by who someone else you don't know is in a relationship with is effing creepy. And then to make it solely about the other person's race is beyond racist and weird. Seek help. It's like you can say that, but it ain't gonna change. Because it's like, what exactly am I bitter over? Y'all think I want Usher? Like, you think I want to marry Usher, who is rumored to have herpes? I'm pressed over a man who allegedly has herpes, the fact that I can't marry him. Why would you even think that would be an expectation of mine?
Child, I was wondering when somebody was gonna bring that concern up. The dirty peen that Usher has. I also was gonna wonder when somebody's gonna bring up the fact that he seems to have a whole slurry of men um in his little depositions that he or whatever that was that happened with those settlements. But obviously this is the best that she can get. Oh, she's not a looker, is he? But it's not just about looks. Maybe she got a good personality. I don't care to know. The only thing I care to know is that my card won't be swiping for Usher tickets.
Yeah, and my thing is, I'm not going to justify anything that they say. Just like I told this man, people can love who they want to, and people can also choose to
Mm.
support or withdraw support from who they want to as well. And I'm choosing to withdraw support from Usher. It just is what it is.
Mhm. And
It's
I
an
wish they stopped using our love is love. That's gay people stuff. You know, we've been using that since 1996. I need Black men to start getting some terms of endearment of their own when they're trying to shame people into supporting their degeneracy or who they choose to be with. Find something else. Your love is love ain't right. If love is love, then surely a lot of you Black men shouldn't have a problem dating other men, right? Oh, you do. Okay, I guess it's really not a choice, right? I guess you do have a choice to say so. I guess love isn't love then, right? I'm gonna need some of these Black men to go sit down somewhere. Go
They do
build something.
need to. But what Black men are saying is very loud and clear. As a Black woman, you don't have a right to have a standard. You don't have a
Mm.
right to withdraw support from a Black man because he's with a white woman. And it's like, yeah, I do. And I'm going to stand on it. And that's
And
why I put here, no, the issue is that y'all ain't used to Black women who have standards. So when you
mhm.
see one with them, you lash out like a petulant child. Your opinion and or shaming tactics don't work on me. You don't mean anything to me, and neither does your opinion. You're simply an avatar on a website, and they are. And this is what they need to be met with whenever they try to shame Black women. They need to be dismissed. You don't matter. Your
You
opinion
don't.
doesn't matter. You're not going to change what I'm talking about.
And that's why they can never they can never tell you what they have done for Black women, for the Black community, hell, for themselves. They can't tell you what they've done in the last 5, 10 years. They have to go back to ancient Egypt. They have to talk about the pyramids and the Moors, and that's where they peaked at, I guess. It also, look at the ones that hide. You have this Jimmy, who I forgot his name, of NBA player. So he's over here talking about, oh, I can't play because somebody in the family died. I make it a habit to now with these NFL, NBA players, and a lot of all of these other people. I start Googling who are they married to. That's a white woman. Then that's where your support needs to come from. I'm sorry that whoever died, but you need to go cry on their shoulders.
reply to this woman, because look, she's gonna say, I think this is a very dumb take and I am Black. Y'all are so hateful and desperate to be picked. Get yourself a life and stop worrying about who men choose. There's more to life than men. It's like, clearly you're the only one who's really focused on it. It's like, why are you assuming it's these women? Why are you assuming that, one, I'm attracted to Usher? Because that's what they're assuming. I'm attracted to Usher. And two, that I want to be picked by a man who allegedly has an untreatable STD.
Okay.
Like, really?
How
Like,
much, look, ladies, why are you still entertaining Black men from Georgia? Okay. Leave those men alone. They got 49 other states, baby. Anybody coming from Georgia, leave them alone. They're part of the letters. They're part of the alphabet mafia, girl. Don't, no. I'm looking at this picture and I'm getting, oh, you got to work that floor. Zesty. Look at that blazer he has on. No.
it's like, if you don't have standards, just say that. But you ain't about to change mine.
And you know what? I'm so happy that there's finally been a discussion on standards, because I know a few years back they were trying to shame Black women into dating and dealing with bisexual men.
Yep, and Black women go for it. Because I saw Black women in the comments immediately justifying it, saying, well, the man is, half of y'all men are already out there like with other men. It's like, so you're going to justify Black women engaging in the very activity that's causing them to get HIV? That's like the number one cause of HIV for Black women, but Black women should be doing everything. Themis, I saw you in here. Thanks so much for coming. If you guys haven't already done so, please give Themis a warm welcome if he's still in here. I just saw one of his comments go over there.
Hey, Themis.
Oh,
you got any more callers? I'm just sitting up here sucking up all the time.
And then some of these people, they want to be in public chat box and at you, but they don't want you to at them. Look, because he ain't married to someone you want or expect him to be married to, what's wrong with you? What is it with people like you always making stuff out of nothing and having to throw race into it? You literally just said you're gonna stop supporting him because he's marrying a white woman. Without saying it, just be honest and say it out loud. It's like, I was very clear in the fact that I literally said that I'm not supporting him because he's married to a white woman.
Was that a Black man that said that? Because maybe the
Black man who's saying it.
Of course, the reading comprehension, that very short little snippet, he still couldn't put it together.
Look, the only thing that should matter to you and everyone else is his music and that he's happy, healthy, and breathing. Not
yeah, sounds like an R. Kelly supporter to me.
This is how they control where Black women direct their support to. And it's not going to work with me. And that's why Umar Johnson, after the Fox Soul panel, he got in a video talking about this is a very dangerous woman, because you become dangerous to Black men when, one, you have an opinion, a very strong one. Two, you won't back down. And three, you have influence. That would make you a dangerous person, because I'm literally telling Black men, I don't care what you say. I'm not going to back down, but I am going to keep telling Black women, have your standards. Stop supporting them. Don't support them. It does matter who he's with. But they want to come on here and control who I support. And they've been doing this. Black men control who Black women support. Black men control what Black women think about themselves. Black men control even who Black women want to date. It's because of Black men that Black women don't want to date other races of men or think they don't have any options. And I'm saying for Black women, stop letting them control you. Like, you're not going to control me. I'm not your puppet. I'm not on some strings where you just get to manipulate and tell me how to live my life, what to think, who to support, and what to value. No, I'm going to support what I want to support. It just is what it is. This peer pressuring is not going to change anything I'm doing. I just want to show it because I want y'all to really see this is how we got to where we are. They want to dog. This is dog piling. This is basically like gang bullying. At this point, look, she's bitter as F. The ignorance. You and your bitter black self go sit in a bitter corner acting like a slave to the white man still with all this hate. Yeah, because you're doing the opposite of doing what white men gave you permission to do by marrying a white woman. It's like, didn't white men have to give you permission to marry white women in the first place?
I mean, wasn't it the only reason why they have access to those women is because on the Giuseppe's of a white man?
Yeah. Yeah. But black men were in the court. Black men surely was in the court before, and that's what I want black women to realize. Before Richard Loving was even born, black men were in that Supreme Court trying to get anti-miscegenation laws changed before he was even born.
I think it was right after they had to get evicted from the plantation.
Yeah.
A lot of them didn't want to leave the plantation. Isn't it funny? I was looking at some of those comments. They seemed so familiar, and it just dawned on me. Anytime black women, like with the bus driver situation, a lot of those comments kind of mimic what they were doing there with old girl saying that she has some standards and the bus driver is below those standards. So it's anytime you express any type of standards that eliminate black men, instead of telling them you need to raise the bar, nope, you need to come down and meet him over here in this dusty gutter over here, right next to poverty and lower credit scores.
And guess what Ebony K. Williams did? Ebony K. Williams folded because they gang stalked and bullied her. Ebony K. Williams folded. And that's why she was sitting up there telling black women, before you get a business license or something about while you're going to school to get a degree, try to get married too. She folded under pressure. And that's why I'm saying most black women do not stand on what they say. Most of them don't. The black women won't stand on what they say. A little bit of pressure, a little bit of bullying from black men and black women. If enough of them tell them they're bitter, you're wrong, you're crazy, you have problems, they will change their opinion. I'm not about to change my opinion. Bottom line is, I'm not supporting the black man who's married to a white woman. Don't care about you can call it bitter, you can call it racist, you can call it hateful, you can even try to develop a mental illness around it. It's not going to do anything to change my opinion. If I don't want to support a black man, I ain't supporting him. Period. And I'm not.
I mean, it is indicative of those type of black men. Are they sitting over here, even when they date out and have all this money, are they still trying to make gains in the black community to uplift that? They're not. They never have a hand reaching back. They're never supporting other black people. They are just as anti-black as their counterpart. And that's what their attraction has always been. So when I look at, say, for instance, a Byron Allen, I'm gonna use him as an example, and then I'm gonna step down because this is key. What's his name? Roland Martin really ticked me off by having Byron Allen up there. You're supposed to be a media mogul. Why is it that you had to go to Roland Martin to reach a black audience? You're a media mogul. Certainly your black self has resources in black communities and black spaces, don't you? No, he doesn't. Oh, well, you hired 211 people within your organization. Sure, certainly you have a whole bunch of HBCU graduates. No, he doesn't. He hires less than 5%. And but it's surely that white woman that you had to have with all of that hair was the hair was just a whole nest of split ends, but okay. But surely she's always giving you this access that y'all claim to get when you're with those women. Why aren't you having those resources redirected to the black community? No, but Roland Martin allows him to come onto his platform where the majority of the people that watch his show are black women, and he doesn't ask him about, well, why should you be, seeking support from these women that you don't date, you don't hire, you don't provide any resources to? Why isn't your wife, why isn't she able to corral the whiteness of white women from her community that seek out Black men to go and sponsor your and champion your initiatives with that Supreme Court case. You're never going to get that from those type of Black men, Roland Martin, because this is how the system stays in place. This is how things remain the same. And this is why things don't change, because they don't want you to have the standards necessary for change to be implemented.
And
But that's all I got to say. I had to get back to work. But
I appreciate it when you come
no
up.
problem. Thank you, darling.
Thank you so much. But you're absolutely right. They don't. That's the thing that black women, you have to understand this. It does not benefit you to not have standards, expectations, and boundaries. That is to your detriment. That's why a lot of Black women have a bunch of trauma. Lola, you can just jump in when you want to. You don't have to raise your hand. You can just jump in whenever you want to. Like, they want to, they're focused on controlling every aspect of you because you are the only one they have. It doesn't benefit you to not have standards, expectations, and boundaries. It benefits them. All of the trauma that you go through staying in relationships longer than you need to is because there's no standards, expectations, and boundaries. And at some point, you have to draw the line. Your boundaries is saying, this is where I draw the line. You try to cross this line, so therefore, I am no longer dealing with you. Where I draw the line at for Black men, among many places, is when you choose to marry outside of the community. You can try to pressure, you can do whatever you want to, you can shame. I'm still not going to support him. I actually told a Black man that was interested in me, but once he let it be known that he had children by white women and had married white women, I said, oh, absolutely not. This will never go anywhere. I was like, the only place this could go is sexually, but it won't leave the bedroom. It won't. And I'm like, now I know you can't change who you married in the past. You can't change who your children's mothers are right now. I know it's not fair, but I will never date you. I'm not going to date you. We won't have a relationship. It's just not, it's not going to go anywhere because of the fact that you've invested in white women. So I live by that. And the reason I live by it is because I've been with Black men who have been with white women. I don't like their mindset. I don't like what they stand for. I don't like that they're drowning in self-hatred and they get thrills out of trying to do things to pit white women against Black women. And I'm not going to deal with that. I'm not going to deal with Black men's silly antics in the way that they want to try to use a white woman to make a Black woman insecure. I'm just not going to deal with you because it's like I already know how it is. Go ahead, Lola.
Hey, Sid. Hey, how you doing?
How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I just want to say, loyal. Been following you forever. Love you to death. But I just kind of wanted to chime in regards to the things that I've been bullied on. I would say one big thing that I've definitely been bullied on is like when I tell them that like one of their preferences is not Black. But I will say that I mainly get that more from women, Black women. Like for instance, I was on Instagram playing in dust just like you, and it was what's Ray J's wife's or whoever she is to him, what's her name?
Princess
Yep.
Mhm.
Yep, that's her. So they had posted a picture of her and was like, yeah, congratulations to the first Black woman to win some poker game or something like that. And I remember writing that in the comment was like, Black where? When did she become Black? And there was a Black woman that wrote me and was like, you're ignorant. Black man and a Filipino woman equals a Black child. And I was like, when did one Black man and a woman who's not Black equal a Black child? I was like, from my understanding, and according to biology, it takes a black male and a Black woman to procreate and make a Black child. So I would say more so Black women are the ones who are defending the whole mix. Well, back in the day when I was growing up, they would call them mixed breeds, but they was like, they are the ones, mainly Black women, are trying to get them into our community. When I was living overseas, I used to live in South Africa, and I was looking for a gym. And I was like, yeah, I just want like a personal trainer. Could you, point me to a Black woman? There was Black South African guy. He pointed me to this like Arabian woman. And I was like, sir, yeah, is she black? And he was like, yeah. I said, is her mama black? He was like, no. I said, so what makes you think that she's black? So just like you always say, it's not just in America, but it's all over. But I would say that's the major thing. I would say I definitely get bullied on when it comes to letting them know that these biracials, these mixed breeds, these people
Mhm.
who don't come from a black mother are not black. And then they will argue down mainly black women.
And that's because that's the way that Black women not only elevate Black men, but they also elevate Black men's white preference. Because to say that women of no color's mixed children are Black is to say that Black women literally are not needed. You're not even needed to replicate yourself. This white woman over here can do that, which a white woman can't. There was a biracial man on Instagram trying to convince me that white women can give birth to Black children. And I was like, absolutely not. They do the same thing. Like anytime Black women want to stand for something and show that they have some type of standards, they're attacked and attempted to be bullied out of them. And it's like, no, you're not going to do that to me. You're not going to bully me. Absolutely not. I have my standards. They are what they are, and they're not going to change. Period.
Yeah.
And
And
it's
then one
like,
thing I wanted to add as well, I have a guy friend, we used to be friends. Nevertheless, he said his mom is white and he has a sister. He would never refer to himself as like a black man, but he will always say, yeah, my sister as a black woman. And I had to stop him like, but when did your sister become black? Isn't her mother white? Well, she is a black woman. But it's funny how you're saying she's a black woman, but you never refer to yourself as a black man, which lets me know furthermore that you know what you're saying is not correct. So I just think it's weird. A lot of biracial guys don't really refer to themselves as black, but the biracial girls refer to themselves as black. And I found that was weird as well. But that's all I said. Thank you so much for letting me come up. I love you. You are awesome. And don't ever stop, okay?
and I definitely won't. And thank you for coming up.
Of course.
Yeah, they just want to bully. They're used to bullying and punking Black women. It just is what it is. Black men are used to having all of the control over every aspect of Black women. Black women don't even think Black men have the level of control over them that they do, but Black men thoroughly control Black women. And they'll do whatever they can to maintain that level of control. They will do whatever they can to maintain that level of control. And I just absolutely not. Black women need to literally strip away any control that Black men feel like they have over them. But I gotta get to these other topics because I got like an hour and 10 minutes because I got stuff to do. I told y'all life was lifing. Life is definitely lifing. Yesterday, I felt like I was going to have a whole emotional breakdown. And I did cry a few times. Like I've been really in my feelings because life is lifing right now. And it's not like a whole bunch of terrible stuff is happening. It's just a lot is happening at one time. And, I'm human too, so I get overwhelmed. I know I come on here and I present strength. And most of the time, that's what it is. But I still have normal human emotions and I get completely overwhelmed at times. And, I have an anxiety condition. So when I get overwhelmed, anxiety immediately starts to come in. When my anxiety gets high, I lose my appetite. I can't sleep. So there's just a lot that, there's just a lot that be going on while life is lifing, but I'm sure things will calm down soon. But it's just life really be taking its toll. It do. But I wanted to oh, thank you, Themis. Yeah, life do be it really do be life, and it be a lot. Like I was over here crying on V's shoulder the other day. If she was here, she'd tell y'all. Like I was like a mess. I really was. It was like I was crying to the degree that I woke up, my eyes was red and puffy, and I'm having to put a cold towel over my. It was just bad because I was just going through it. I was overwhelmed. I was completely overwhelmed. Moon J, did you want to say something before I get to Beyonce? And I'm glad you're back.
Hi.
Hi.
I don't know if you could hear me, but I remember that
I used to be in this like international study group chat,
Mhm.
and it was
This
like, oh, we'll make really beautiful black babies. And I was like, if you want actual black kids, you have to be with an actual black woman. So I noticed that like black guys, they get with biracial girls and they try to act like these kids aren't being raised and molded by like a white woman or something.
yeah.
And I
I
think that they do that. I feel like they when they get with a biracial woman, it's so they can be like, oh wait, no, she's still black though. And it's like,
let
no,
me
she's not.
can I ask you a question really quickly? So in Korea, do they embrace mixed race children as Korean, or do they like or do they like say they're the race of whatever the other person is? Like if a
Yeah,
black man, do they like if you're mixed and your father is black in Korea, will they call that child Korean?
it depends. But to be honest, it's not even a black thing. You can be Korean and Japanese, and you're not Korean. You foreigner. Always. Koreans are very pure.
Mhm.
They promote purity. So, like I said, you can be a Japanese. Oh hell, you better not be Chinese, but you could be Japanese and Korean, and you're still just foreigner.
Yeah. And that's I thought that's how it was because largely Black people are the only people who do that. And Black women are the only women who allow that. And mind you, the reason Black women allow it is because these are Black men's children. That's why Black women allow it. Because most biracial people who are Black and white globally, they have Black fathers. So I believe this is one of the reasons why Black women do it. I think they think if they give their identity to Black men's biracial children with non-Black women, it elevates Black women somehow. I think that Black women have to think that. They think that a biracial woman or child being elevated as Black, especially the girls, that it will elevate Black women, their status and their image. And it doesn't. The only thing you're doing is elevating the Black man and whoever he chooses to be with. You're elevating her above yourself. You're saying that any group of women can produce you. You're saying that you aren't the mother of humanity, a white woman is, essentially. That's what you're saying.
You said something in another live that made me think, and sorry if you hear like my neighbors and my dog, but you said something in one of your lives and you were like, oh, well, if we're calling on these mixed people black, then who at that point, who's black at that point? And like I noticed that like I'll see people like how some people were like I noticed that like a lot of people were like like this singer, she's a really pretty brown skin girl, Victoria, and they kept calling her the black. And it's like I wonder, it made me think about what you said, like is this hyper claiming, especially of the darker mixed people, does it make people feel better about themselves? You know what I mean?
Leave me alone.
Yeah, and the thing that Black women don't understand is that it doesn't elevate you as a Black woman. What it does is it elevates these other non-Black women that you're saying is Black, it elevates them above you. You're literally telling society to elevate and give privileges to these biracial people and not you. Because if I'm a white person, right, and I'm in the music industry, and Black women are accepting biracial women as Black, I'm going to pick the Black people who have the most white proximity. I'm going to pick the Black people who are the closest to me. I'm not going to pick, like, if Lupita Nyong'o is Black and so is Zendaya, who do you think I'm going to use as the representation for Black? I'm going to use Zendaya because you're telling me both of them are Black. Except in my eyes, as a white person, hypothetically, one version of Black is better than the other. And to the men in your community, one version of Black is better than the other. And Lupita Nyong'o's version of black is never going to be seen better than Zendaya's version of black. So black women can sit up here
Right, and
that biracial women are their representation, but you're telling them to use biracial women as your representation because you're saying here, they're black too. And I think black women don't understand what they're doing.
we were talking about specifically New Orleans Creole people. And I noticed in like a lot of that's supposed to be black representation, it's a lot of these long generational lines of mixed people standing in the place of black people. And I'm like, but black people don't look alike the Steph Curry. That's not how they look. Like, so who are like actual black people supposed to look up to if it's like all of these mixed people?
Okay, let me make myself very clear because I think some people are misconstruing what I'm saying. So when I gave that example, I'm giving it from the perspective of white people. Because you have to consider not how you think, you have to consider how they think. Because it's you trying to infiltrate their spaces. It's you who want them to uplift your identity and consider your representation. So if you are telling society that a biracial woman is black, and then a woman who looks like Lupita Nyong'o is black, and you're in a society that upholds whiteness as the standard, obviously, if you're dealing with people of no color, they're going to pick the black person that has the closest proximity to them. And that's not somebody who looks like Lupita Nyong'o. So what's going to happen is they are going to elevate, they're going to elevate Zendaya above Lupita Nyong'o. And they do, because you're telling them both of them are black, even though one of them is not black. Zendaya is not black. She's a mixed woman of no color. She came from the womb of a woman of no color. That's not the same as Lupita Nyong'o. So you're telling society, black women, you're telling them, here is another version of black that you can hold above me. You're telling them that. I go into comment section and the only thing I see is black women arguing with me that a woman who is not black is black, like Mariah Carey. Mariah Carey is not a black woman, but I had a bunch of black women in the comments saying, oh, her daddy black, she black. Well, this is an ignorant statement. She's black. It doesn't do anything beneficial for you to say that biracial women are black. In fact, it's to your detriment. You're telling them that biracial people are black is you telling them to put biracial women as your representative because they believe proximity to whiteness looks better than black, who's not mixed. So if both of them are the same, why wouldn't they be using a mixed person above you? Why wouldn't they? They believe mixed look better. They believe mixed is more marketable. They believe mixed fits the standard of beauty. So if you're telling them, okay, well, mixed is black too, it should be common sense that they're going to use a mixed person as the representative for a black woman because you're telling them they can. But I want to get into this with Beyonce, which a lot of people try to make Beyonce not black. Beyonce is black. Her mother is mixed. Her father is black. Mixed and black makes black. The majority of her DNA is black. So therefore, Beyonce is black. It doesn't matter if her mother is biracial. She's still black. I don't know why they try to make Beyonce not black, because anytime I say, okay, well, mixed ain't black, somebody got to come in the comment section and say, so Beyonce ain't black? Beyonce had the black parent and a biracial parent. Beyonce is obviously black. Most of her DNA is black. Whether they want to acknowledge it or not, she's black. Yes, you're black if your mother is biracial and your father is black, or your mother is black and your father is biracial, you are black. Go ahead.
I just wanted to say something real quick.
Yeah.
So I've definitely been bullied. I remember my awakening period, as they call, as you say, spiritual, was growing up. was from young. I was seeing, you know, my uncles with white women, and I felt some way. And then obviously when you get to school, and the people that were bullying me the most and about, you know, was the white girls. So white women know that we like black men. Like people know, like they were like, oh, you know, you like black men. It's like, so they know. Yet they were in my face dating them, so they know that they are hurting us. White women know that they're hurting us when they're dating black men. So the fact that we have so many black women, you know, just not taking this seriously, just like, you know, not taking this, you know, they know, people know that they're hurting us. The whole world knows that we, you know, we're hurt over this situation. And you know, you're seeing all these like groups of like men, women, like, you know, Black Lives Matter. I saw that, and it's like black women are fighting, but all I'm seeing on the news is like different groups of men, like Israel. These men have been fighting for their women. You see Russia, these men are fighting. All of these men are fighting for their country, fighting for their women. Yeah, the only group of women you see on the planet is black women fighting. Black Lives Matter. Like people making it out, black women looking like a literal joke. Like we look like a joke. Like you see all these movies, you see men fighting. Yeah, you've got black women looking like real. I you know, and I just can't believe. And also, I feel like, you know, with slavery, I feel like black men were prolonging it. I feel like they were involved. I think that they wanted us to be there. I think that they wanted us to be on the plantation, because it's like, how could they have allowed it for so long? I feel like, you know how, you know, because I can see the hate that they have. I feel the hate that they have towards us. And I know that they wanted us to be there. I know that they wanted us to be there. And so, yeah, I just feel like, I just don't know where it is with black women. Like it's just, I think they're comfortable in this situation.
No,
It's like,
it's
how can,
brainwashing. It's brainwashing and it's bullying. Like
yeah,
you saw how they came at me on Instagram for simply
yeah,
setting a standard. So black women's mind is where it is because they've been bullied into it. They've been brainwashed
but
into it, been shamed into having a certain attitude, because they'll dogpile you and gang bully you in a minute. Like black people will jump on you and try to browbeat you into believing what they want you to believe, also that it can benefit black men. So I get exactly why black women's mindset is where it is. You saw, like, that's why I used Ebony K. Williams as an example. When Ebony K. Williams came out, she didn't have to mention black men. She said she's not going to date a bus driver unless he owns the bus. We know black men don't own anything. So it was immediately implied black men, because they know black men don't own a damn thing largely. So it was implied by what she said, black men. They jumped on Ebony. They dragged Ebony all over Twitter, told her she was bitter, she wasn't attractive, nobody wanted her, she was post-wall. Most people can't stand strong in the face of like community pressure. They can't. Most people can't. It's just a
yeah,
psychological.
yeah, when you go against, like I always knew from a young age that there was something wrong with them. I was always against, I always was questioning it. But like, when you go against it, when you say anything, you get attacked. Like, you know, like by black women, like, you know, what are you talking about? You don't like black men, like how can you not like them? And then you get other people, you get outside communities, like, oh, you know, you must like black men. There's so much pressure coming from everywhere for you to just love black men, but they ain't doing it for you. Like, period. They've never done it for you. But it's like, you black women, we have, it's like, I don't know, I don't know. And I feel like it's so bad to the point. And I really I pray for you, Cynthia, because honestly, I don't even know black women's mindset and the whole situation, and the fact that, you know, I think as black women, black people, we are needed to maintain white supremacy. Like it would, to get rid of black people. Like, of course, white people don't want to get rid of us. They need us.
Yeah,
they need us.
let me tell you something. White supremacy will never get rid of Black people. And this is why there
This is why they knocked you off of YouTube. That's why that white woman wanted you off of YouTube, because they need Black people to maintain it.
And that
They don't want you to say anything.
Black
They don't want you to say anything.
Black women what they need to. It's exactly what you said. The reason that YouTube upheld what that woman was putting out there, because if you even minimize the population of Black males, it will negatively impact the white supremacist infrastructure. Please believe it. And I would think, I'm glad you picked up on that, Rhea, because Black women all the time will be like, well, it supports white supremacy to not birth Black males because they don't want them here anyway. Well, if they didn't want them here, they wouldn't be here, because it's not.
Yeah, they would have. This is why I always said, why didn't they kill us? If white people were racist, they hate us, they don't like us, they would have killed us. They would have, but weren't they killing people back in the day? They would have killed Black people. They kept us alive for a reason. We are here for a reason. The only reason why we are here is for the benefit of white people. I'm telling you, I knew it, I know it, and yeah, that's why we are here. That's why we're here.
It's already been documented and established. Even like if you read the old documents, like they call them medical records, but they were really just theories that people of no color had about Black people in terms of their genetics and intelligence. They've already been talked about how Black men are the greatest non-white asset to white supremacy. Black men heavily contribute to white supremacy and always have.
Yeah, they started it.
Mentally, physically, yeah.
They created it, yeah.
Yeah, because they think that Loving versus Virginia got passed because the country was trying to be progressive. No, the country received a memo from another country that was practicing racial whiteness. So they knew, so they had already been told, look, you can not only reduce your population of Black people if you allow them to mix with white people, but it also sustains them genetically. It sustains them genetically. So the reason Black men are able to run around with these throwbacks and procreate with them is because those biracial children are going to be raised and molded by women of no color or their families. Then they're going to go marry and procreate with white, and they're going to make more white people, except with better genetics. So it's like Black women don't understand that you are literally providing to this system one of its greatest assets. They don't benefit from it. Black men don't benefit, but they surely do supply into the system. But Black women largely parrot what Black men put out there. Like one of those people, Tariq, been sitting up parroting, oh, they afraid Black men go breed them out. They afraid Black men go breed them out. You're not going to breed anything out but yourself. And that is the product of Black men procreating with white women. Isn't more Black people, it's more white people. It's more white people. Black men procreating with white equals more white, and they know that.
Yeah. I feel like Black men have always wanted, but I feel like they're so, as you say, they're so dumb or whatever. I feel like they've always wanted to get, they want, Black people to be extinct. They've always wanted it, but they're so stupid. Instead of because obviously when, what was it, English and Africans, when they collided, because they threw us into slavery, they threw Black women into slavery, instead of saying, okay, white people just kill us, they decided, they thought, they're so stupid, they thought, let's just put them in slavery. But no, they think that Black women would survive all that.
But you don't
they didn't think that we would survive, basically.
You don't need to get rid of a group of men whose behavior show that their number one priority is to contribute to and benefit the system that you created. You don't need to get rid of those people. Black men don't have any allegiance or dedication to the upkeep of the Black community. That they have none. No. They're not a threat to the white infrastructure. They're an asset to it. They benefit the structure. And see, Black women will run around parroting, oh, white supremacy don't like them. They a threat. They worried about the Black man standing up. Black men ain't gonna stand up to them. They know this. Because they know that just like Black men got control of your psyche, Black women, men of no color controls Black men's psyche. Men of no color control what Black men value. Men of no color control who Black men choose to date, marry, and procreate with. Men of no color control where Black men funnel their resources and wealth. And all of it is in his benefit. Like, men of no color are puppeting Black men, even to the degree of them having sex with white women. That's controlled by men of no color. Black men have zero control over that. And that's part of the reason why they try to discourage Black women not to date white men, because Black men know that they have no control over that. If Black women choose to go over there, Black women just choose to go over there. There's absolutely nothing that Black men can do. But Black men already know there's many things that's been shown to them. There's many things that white men can and are willing to do to Black men if they don't want them with their women. They've already shown it. So Black men can try to flex some power if they want to. They have no power. But the reason I have this up is because Beyonce released some country songs. She did this during the Super Bowl, where she made it known that she essentially had a country album. It's coming out on March 29th. She's already released 2 songs. And so this is something that, first of all, let me say this. I already knew people of no color weren't going to be okay with Beyonce making this country album, because Beyonce is kind of dominating the music industry right now. They can try to compare her to Taylor Swift. The Beehive need to have a problem with that. The problem that the Beehive need to have is the fact that they're insulting Beyonce by comparing Taylor Swift. There's no comparison there. It's an insult to Beyonce to even act like, first of all, you can't compete where you don't compare. You can't compare something that doesn't measure up. Taylor Swift doesn't measure up to Beyonce in any way, shape, or form. So therefore, there should be no comparison. There should be nobody saying that anything that Taylor Swift do is like what Beyonce do. The only thing they have in common is that they both sing. Other than that, there's no comparison between Beyonce and Taylor Swift. And I'm not even in the Beehive, but it irks me when they compare Beyonce to Taylor Swift, or when they compare Beyonce to Adele. I don't know where the Beehive is at whenever they're comparing Beyonce to Adele or Taylor Swift, but the Beehive they ain't active enough. They need to go sting some of those people who are sitting there comparing her to people who are beneath her. But I already knew people of no color were going to have a problem with this, because years ago they had a problem with Beyonce. I think she performed at the Country Music Awards. I think Beyonce performed at the Country Music Awards. I remember doing content on this. This was years ago. So anybody can correct me if they want to. People of no color had a problem with Beyonce even performing at the Country Music Awards. They made a huge hoopla over it. It was trending over Twitter. They kept talking about, oh, Beyonce's not country, and country, basically saying country music is for white people, even though we already know country music was created by Black people. We already know country music is just another genre of music that they co-opted and made their own. But I already knew they were going to have a problem with Beyonce in the country music, because Beyonce will dominate that area. She really will. She's already dominating. She'll dominate the country music genre. She will, if she chooses to go into it. But so this man said, I requested Texas Hold'em at my local country radio station. And after requesting, I received an email from the radio station stating, we do not play Beyonce on KYKC as we are a country music station. Okay, well, Beyonce songs are country. So what they're essentially saying is, no, we don't want this heavily popular Black woman breaking into our genre, because then she will overshadow these white country artists. They don't want Beyonce overshadowing the women of no color who are now dominating country. They don't want Beyonce here. So now they're refusing to put her in this. And it says, hi, he posted it. It says, hi, we do not play Beyonce on KYKC as we are a country music station. Thank you. And then as you see down here, it says these stations do not discriminate in the sale or advertising time and will accept no advertising that may discriminate on the basis of race, gender, or ethnicity. They're trying to say it is because of her music genre, but Texas Hold'em is a country song. So there's no reason for them to not play the song. Even if Beyonce isn't a country artist, in this album, she is. They want to push her. They basically are telling her, no, we're not going to promote you because you ain't about to come over here and overshadow the women of no color that we're playing. Absolutely not. They're setting a standard is what they're doing. They're trying to set a standard. Now, if Black people want to complain, gang stalk, dogpile, and bully somebody, you should be doing it to this radio station. Beyonce had the right to go into whatever genre she wants to go into. And I actually think Texas Hold'em is a good song. I've listened to it. I think Texas Hold'em is a good song. Where is the Beehive and why aren't they getting at this radio station? That's what I want to know. Well, where are the Beehive when you need them? Because the Beehive need to swoop down on this radio station and say absolutely not. Beyonce had the country music album. The songs are country. They fit the genre. Play the song and stop discriminating against this Black woman. Because that's really all that it is. They just don't want her there. So now this dude, Justin, wants people to email the radio station to request the song. But what you need to do, what needs to happen is they need to swoop down on this radio station and tell them what it really is. They don't want a Black woman they don't want a Black woman of Beyonce's caliber breaking into country and upstaging all of the women of no color there, because she actually will upstage all of the women of no color there, vocally and otherwise. She just will. But it says Texas Hold'em reflects past controversy over Old Town Road. And I'm going to tell y'all, because I bet you if Adele made a country song, this station would play it. They wouldn't care that Adele is R&B. They wouldn't care about that. They would still play Adele if Adele had a country song because she's a white woman. They would do that. It says Beyonce isn't the first artist with an R&B, hip hop, and pop background to step into country music. Now they're saying Lil Nas X's was disqualified from the Billboard country charts for not embracing enough elements of today's country music, i.e. he ain't white enough. Hold on, you guys. I gotta take this call. Hold on for a second. Okay, thanks you guys. I had to take that call. It was a really important call and I had to take it. So, Tina said we barely got out of the house era, but we getting into this country area and we coming. Yeah, they need to leave Beyonce alone. They really do. They need to leave Beyonce alone and stop hating on her. It's like whether they play it or not, I can almost guarantee you Beyonce is gonna win a Grammy, at least one Grammy for this album. I guarantee it. I guarantee she is. Because it's like they're not gonna not first of all, Beyonce has a huge fan base, okay? I think arguably she's the most popular person on the planet now. She's gonna succeed. This album is gonna be successful, and she's probably gonna go on tour as well. So this Oklahoma KYKC, they can cry and think that they're doing something, but you're not like you need more people. Like you're not about to block anything that Beyonce's doing. She's still gonna be successful at the end of the day. She is still gonna be successful. So look, KYKC need to get their asses on, and the Beehive need to swoop down and check this radio station who's trying to suppress Beyonce. It annoyed me. Let me find that other article. Let me see. Let me see something, because I think she performed. CMA performance. Let me see. Yeah, here it is. This was in 2016. Wow, this was a long time ago. But I remember discussing this. I remember discussing this. Do y'all remember, for some of the people who may be in here from the day ones? Because y'all know that even though I had made like one video in 2015, I really hit the scene of YouTube in 2016. And I remember talking about this, where they wanted to attack Beyonce because she performed here. See, Beyonce and the Dixie Chicks at the CMA Awards. On live television, Beyonce's improbable performance with the Dixie Chicks at the 50th Annual Country Music Association Awards couldn't have gone more smoothly. But the reception was decidedly more mixed, with some country fans arguing that Beyonce had no place at the ceremony. Y'all don't get to tell this woman where you don't get to tell her what genre she can be in. Like, I'm tired of I'm just tired of white tears. I'm tired of it. You don't get to tell Beyonce where she gets to go, what genre she gets to be in, and who she gets to perform with. But what I will say is they're trying to set a standard. The standard that they're trying to set is that country music is for people of no color. Yeah, they were big mad. They were big mad because Beyonce got up there with the Dixie Chicks. But they can cry if they want to. Like I said, they're not gonna successfully suppress Beyonce. Like, she's Beyonce. You're not gonna. And not only do Beyonce have a huge fan base, but she actually has a lot of power in the industry. It is racist, Samantha. They can say they want to say it's because Black people don't belong in country. That's what they want to say, but then that would obviously be racist. So instead, they're going to say, oh, well, she's not a country artist. She doesn't need to. Your station plays country music. She has some country music, so play her country music. And I'm pretty sure they won't be the only radio station. I'm pretty sure as soon as Beyonce drops her country music album, there's going to be white tears flowing all over the place. Watch. There's going to be an ocean of white tears online when Beyonce drops this album. And all I'm going to need the Beehive to do is get on Twitter and remind the white tears that country music actually belongs to Black people. You co-opted it. she is Beyonce and running to be the Beyonce of USA. I actually really loved that commercial that Beyonce had. I loved it. I really did. She is a marketing genius. Either she's the marketing genius or she employed one. But whoever rolled that out did a great job. Millions of eyes was on the Super Bowl, and Beyonce, because she got money like that, she decided to drop her ad and it was more than 30 seconds. Typically with Super Bowl ads, most people only get maybe like a 20, 15 to 30 second. Beyonce's commercial was well over 30 seconds, I believe. So yeah, they not about to be able to stop nothing that Beyonce doing. Beyonce will continue to be Beyonce and she'll continue to have success. She just will. But I want to switch gears here to talk about these situation with Dusty Martell. Y'all know Martell Holt is from Love and Marriage Huntsville. Y'all know that when I was still on YouTube, a lot of people came to me and they were like, Sin, will you please talk about Love and Marriage Huntsville? It got a lot of dust. They was like, you should review Love and Marriage Huntsville. So I decided to go watch Love and Marriage Huntsville. And the two bandits who stuck out the most to me is Martell Holt and Marceau Scott. Those are the two people who stood out to me. One, because Marceau is a perfect example that you can be married and have a father in the home, but you still go be a married single woman, or you go be a married single mother, because Marceau does not even claim his children as his children. Marceau doesn't interact with his children. Marceau doesn't raise his children. Marceau won't even go take his sons to go get haircuts. So I don't know why people keep saying that being married equals a father for your children and you not being a single mother, when it's literally documented. It's literally documented that Black women marrying Black men has never been equal to Black men being fathers and raising their children. Like, marriage is not going to do that. We need to get some mental software updates going on, because marriage does not equal father for your children. A man being dedicated to raising his children is what equals father for your children. And anything beyond that, it doesn't matter what the union is, you're still going to be a married single mother. Letitia was literally complaining about being a married single mother. And it was that statement that she made, which was why a lot of my subscribers were sending me video clips and they were like, will you talk about this? Because she's on this show and she's complaining and saying she's a married single mother. And I watched it and she was. She said, this man don't take care of the kids. He don't interact with the kids. He won't raise the kids. Marceau is literally single and Letitia is married. He's single and Letitia is married. Both of their dynamics, Melody Holt with Martell and Letitia Scott with Marceau, both of them are living examples of what I talk about with Black marriages. It's literally what I talk about. Yeah, most married Black women tend to be very dishonest about the quality of their marriage. Like, Black women refuse to tell the truth about these marriages, just like Tiana Taylor. Tiana Taylor is a perfect example of how Black women refuse to tell the truth about their marriage. And now Tiana Taylor is mad because her dusty husband, Iman Shumpert, put their names on some paper. So now the world already knows that Tiana Taylor was lying about the quality of her marriage. Tiana Taylor, like most Black women, was lying about the quality of their marriage. They want to run around here talking about he my bestie, we amicable, but then in the divorce decree, you putting that this man is running amok and terrorizing the house. So it's like, how are y'all co-parenting amicably, but you sitting up here talking about this man is endangering the children? And now she mad. And it's like, you could be mad at TMZ. You're mad because the truth of your janky marriage came out. Black women need to stop lying about these marriages, but they can't But see, the reason Black women are lying about these marriages, because if they tell the truth about their marriage quality, they can't weaponize it against single women. If Black women were honest about how miserable they are in these marriages, how they're struggling in these marriages, how they're depressed in these marriages, how they're getting cheated on in these marriages, if Black women were to come out and be honest about that, you couldn't use that as a weapon against single women. You couldn't even assert that you are better than a single woman if you were honest about the quality of the marriages. And this is why they don't want you bringing up the marriage data. They know the average Black woman is not about to go out and research the marriage data. You should, because you're entering into a contract, so you should research it. But most Black women are not. Black women know that most Black women have a fantasy in their mind about what they think marriage is, and it's the exact opposite of how marriage plays out in the Black community. And I don't know why they think that we should believe, even though most Black women do. I don't know why y'all will believe that a Black woman is having a happy union with a Black man in a marriage. I don't get that. Black men are not loyal, they're promiscuous. Black men are not fathers, they're for the streets, largely. Does that mean that you won't find any of them? No, it means that those men will be the exception. Most married Black women are not happy. Most married Black women are not doing well. And they can't say that the marriage data is skewed, because the marriage data is based on what the married people are reporting. The marriage data is also based on what you put in that divorce decree. See, because it's one thing for Tiana Taylor to jump on the internet and lie. That divorce decree is where that truth is going to come out. So you're going to hear through their divorce decrees how many Black men are cheating, how many of them bring home babies, how many Black women have STDs. When you walk into a clinic and you get treated for STDs, they know whether you are married or not, because you probably already let them know in your demographic paperwork that you're married. Now, they may not disclose the name of the Black women who are getting diseases, but they collect data on married people getting diseases, and Black women got the highest rate of them. So you're in these miserable marriages where you're the provider of this man, because the Black marriage data also says the majority of these households, Black women are the breadwinners. So Black women are paying these males to be married to them. They're buying husbands, is essentially what Black women are doing. They're buying husbands because they're the sole. Look up the data on marriage. Look up the data on marriage and see how many of these Black women are providing for Black men. That's how Black men are not getting into upper class incomes because of their own income. It's because of their Black wives' income. They're living off of Black women because Black women are not Christians, because Christianity says he needs to be the provider of the home. So clearly, Black women are not Christians, at least not the ones who are being the providers in these homes, because that's anti-Christianity. It goes against the principles of Christianity. Black women can try to rewrite the Bible as much as they want to, but the Bible is very clear that the man needs to be the provider of the home. Black women said, I don't care what the Bible says. I want a Black man, so if I have to be the provider of the home, then damn the Bible. Black women don't have to say it out of their mouths. They do it with their behavior. And we already know, because the data shows us, most married Black women are the providers of their home. So you ain't getting a provider. You're not getting the faithful man. You're not getting anything. You're not building wealth, because most Black women are marrying bums. So the marriage data will tell us that when Black women say that they're getting married to build generational wealth in strong Black families, the data says Black women are lying. That's not what you're getting married for. You're not getting married for those reasons. That's what the data says. Now, Black women can be mad and they can run, because they did that when I went live on YouTube to do the truth about Black marriages. Black women ran because they already knew what that data was going to look like. They already knew that data was going to say Black women are lying. The data is not skewed because the information is coming from you. So the data can't be skewed. And if it is skewed, it's skewed because you probably lied. But the reality is Black women are not in happy marriages. When Melody was in this marriage with Martell, he was having a whole affair in a side family for 5 years. So when I say your husband is somebody else's boyfriend, it is because a lot of their husbands is somebody else's boyfriend. So now Melody, because she's struggling with this bandit, Martell, who don't want to be a father or a family man. He wants to be a man whore, because that's what he's doing. Running around, spreading dick to the community, getting women pregnant, creating side babies within his marriage, because when Martell had that side baby, he was married. Now, what married Black women will not tell you is why they're dealing with side babies in a marriage. That's what they won't tell you. And they can sit here and tell you that they have to work through cheating. No, the Bible tells you not to work through cheating. The Bible tells you to get a divorce. This is why I'm saying Black women are not Christians. Black women are Black male worshipers. Because if you will disregard biblical principles so that you can have a bandit, then you don't worship God, you don't worship Jesus, you worship Black men. There shouldn't be a Black woman who's working through a cheating man. The Bible says if the person commits adultery in the marriage, you need to divorce them. The Bible does not say you need to stay and work on that. It says divorce. So where are Black women getting this idea from that that marriage is forever? The Bible doesn't even say marriage is forever. It says if you cheat, divorce him. Black women don't want to do that because they're desperate to be married to these bandits who make them miserable. But it says nasty divorce, love and marriage Huntsville, Martell Holt ordered to undergo psych evaluation after ex accuses him of abusing the kids. It says Martell 42 and Melody's divorce battle has gotten even more nasty as Melody 38 has grown more concerned about his alleged erratic behavior and inappropriate treatment of their children. I'm telling y'all, Martell is a demon. Y'all just don't want to believe me. Martell is like a low-level demon. He doesn't even have any power on the demonic scale, but he is one nonetheless. So it says, as of December 14, 2023, the court has ordered Martell to undergo a psychological evaluation after the mom of 4 filed a motion demanding he submit to a psychiatric examination and evaluation ahead of their trial in April. I would love to see the results of that psych evaluation. I would love it, because I'd be surprised if that evaluation doesn't come back and say Martell has antisocial personality disorder and he's a narcissist as well. I would be very, very surprised if his psych evaluation doesn't say those two things. That he has antisocial personality mixed with narcissism, because that's what Martell acts like he has. It says, according to Alabama court documents exclusively obtained by the U.S. Sun, Melody informed the court that the mental, psychological, and emotional stability of the father is at issue. One reason that Martell has a problem with Melody is because she has standards, expectations, and boundaries. Martell doesn't like that. It's a problem for him. Melody will not let him run amok. Melody will hold him accountable. Melody will not worship Martell. That is Martell's problem. He wants Melody to not have any standards. She has standards, expectations, and boundaries. That doesn't work with the Black male pathology. Thema said that station has been handled. They just apologized. Thank you for bringing the issue to me as I just ended the Hive meeting and sorted the issue. Exactly. I'm glad you did that, Themis. I'm glad, because it's like, really? It's like y'all need to get all the way out here and play Beyonce song. Like they out of pocket for that. They thought they were gonna get away with that, but they didn't. So it says, based on the father's recent erratic behavior at the minor children's school, practice, and other public places, as well as his inappropriate, unhinged, and erratic behavior towards the mother and the minor children, a thorough and complete mental examination and evaluation of the father is essential to the court's decision regarding important issues in this case regarding child custody and visitation. She argued that his actions are detrimental to the physical, emotional, and mental well-being of the children and fears that the children have already suffered emotional damage as a result of Martell's irate and erratic behavior. And we saw some of that on the show. Martell wants to bully his way into situations because he's a psycho who wants to have control. Melody ain't about to let Martell control anything. It's like the only thing you get to control, Martell, is that side chick that Funky Dineva calls coleslaw. That's what you get to control that. Melody ain't interested in Martell controlling anything that has to do with anything that she's going through. In the same filing, she claimed Sheree Whitfield's ex continued to use corporal punishment against their minor children. She gave an example that on December 11th, he allegedly threatened to tear them up once their divorce case is over, referring to their minor kids, and said in a separate filing from December 14th that he even offered to allow the children to be on the television show if he could use corporal punishment in the future. And y'all know Melody don't really be having the kids on the show like that. She really don't. She had them on there, but she don't really be having them as a big presence on the show. The former couple has 4 kids together, daughters Malaya, Mariah, Milani, and son Martell. So the TV personality is also the father of another child, son Knox, with a woman who has been identified as his mistress, Ariane Curry. I really wish Black women would explain why they're dealing with marital infidelity. I don't understand. If this is a sacred union, why are you dealing with marital infidelity? Why aren't you following what your religion says and divorcing your cheating husbands? Oh yeah, because if you divorce them, then you can't run around and say, my husband, my man, at least I got the ring, and y'all want me to be single like y'all. That's why. Black women don't want to be able to flex on other Black women. So they'll sit up here and lie, basically, and pretend that they're in happy unions when they're not. You're not in a happy union. You're in a trash marriage, and you're in it because you just want to sit up here and flex on other women. And listen, single women are getting hyped to the fact that y'all are miserable. And they think they can project their misery onto single women. And it's like, no. The only person who's miserable are these married Black women, largely, unless they're married outside of the community. It just is what it is. Unless Black women marry outside the community, most of the time in marriages, they're not happy. And look, Black women can lie, Black men can lie, but this marriage data ain't lying. The marriages are janky. You ain't building wealth. You're not creating strong Black families. You creating dysfunction with dysfunctional broke bandits. Nothing more, nothing less. But let me talk about this last thing before I jump off of here, y'all, because Tyrese cannot keep a woman. And I wish that as Black women, we can normalize pointing out that Black men can't keep a woman, because they keep talking about how you can't keep a man. You can't keep Black women can keep a man longer than Black men can keep a woman. So it says Tyrese reveals he and Zelly Timothy have broken up. Do y'all want to know why? Because he's using her as a rebound for his mixed white preference. She does not want to live in the shadow of Tyrese's mixed white preference. This is one of the reasons I'm saying you should have a standard that you don't date or deal with Black men who marry, procreate, and invest in women of no color. Tyrese was married to a mixed white woman. That is who he was married to. He is still obsessing over that mixed white woman. He is still bitter over that mixed white woman and simply started dating Zelly Timothy as a stand-in in hopes of repairing the relationship with the mixed white woman. Zelly Timothy does not want to do that. It says Tyrese is updating fans on his personal life and revealed that he and his girlfriend Zelly Timothy have just broken up. On Sunday, February 11, Tyrese took to Instagram to share a video with fans. The singer sat in front of the camera. We don't need to know what he's wearing. Where's the video? Do y'all see what Instagram be doing to me? I want y'all to see how Instagram treat me. This is the comment that they're blocking. They're saying that I'm spamming. This is literally how Instagram keep treating me. Every time I sit up here and post something, they're saying that it's spam. Now I gotta go back to this and pull up the Instagram post because they want to sit here and hate on me. Now we about to listen to Tyrese cry again because he wants this black woman to sit up in the shadow of his mixed white ex-wife, and she ain't interested in doing it. It's like you've been sitting up here. Look, he go say to Cat Williams, 50 Cent, and Kanye. All Tyrese do is cry. He refuses to go into the studio and cry on the album. And if he does, he's going to cry about his mixed white ex-wife. That's what he's going to do. Look at what he wrote. My Super Bowl plans are fucked. Power outage in my neighborhood, so I'm going at him. And me and Zelly just broke up over some dumb shit. Remember this, she demanded that I cancel my album because there's too many songs about my ex on there. Fuck does that even mean? I'm glad this woman put this out here. She said, Tyrese, we aren't going on this emotional roller coaster with you and your girlfriend. Y'all will be back together tomorrow. Take us out the group chat. I'm not about to do this with Tyrese anyway, either. I'm not gonna do this with Tyrese. I'm not about to throw a pity party for Tyrese, but look, listen to this.
Got that out of the way. My lawyers, my managers, everybody's pissed. I just released the album today. It's only available for 10 hours. 50 Cent, Cat Williams, Kanye, forgive me. I used you for clickbait. Watch the trailer.
I'm not about to deal with Tyrese. I'm not about to deal with Tyrese. I'm just not. I'm not. I'm not about to deal with Tyrese. Absolutely not. I won't do it. I was going to. I really was going to. I'm not about to sit here and entertain Tyrese. I'm just not going to. I'm not going to. This woman have every right to break up with you if you ain't Why is Tyrese in a relationship if he's not over his ex-wife? This is what Black men do. They don't think that they need any help. They don't think that they need any healing. And that's why they bounce from woman to woman to woman, leaving a trail of dust, heartache, and tears because they refuse to just do some healing. Why are you in another relationship with a woman if you're not over your ex-wife? Deal with your hurt and bitterness over your ex-wife, Tyrese. Because you've been crying about her all over the internet since she divorced you. Like, this man he really do need, it's like first you were crying about your first wife and not being able to see your daughter. Now you crying about your ex-mixed white wife and the fact that she wants some child support. Like, Tyrese, go ahead. Like, Tyrese need to be subjected to some mandatory therapy. I really wish that child support judge would place a motion ordering him to get some therapy, some court appointed therapy. He needs to be forced. Like, we not about to keep in 2024 seeing you have meltdowns all over the internet, Tyrese, because you refuse to heal. You can't keep a woman. At the end of the, males are needy and codependent by nature. I'm telling y'all, they are codependent. Let me pull up this article that says males are codependent, women are not. So the dilemma of the codependent men. Like, everything talks about how men are codependent. But this is from 3 years ago, so I don't want to get this. This is from 2012. I don't want to get that. I want to get something more recent. Because men are extremely codependent. Yeah, women are not more codependent than men. It says nobody. Mm-mm. So, and this is from 2017. This is about the earliest one, because y'all know men are forever going to decorate themselves, except now it's been coming out that men need to be in relationships, women don't. So if men need to be in relationships, they are codependent. If women don't, then they are not codependent. Ain't the whole creation of the woman, according to the Bible, ain't it based on men being codependent? Because according to the Bible, Eve was created from the rib of Adam because God had determined that Adam couldn't effectively survive on his own, i.e., Adam was codependent. So therefore, we need to get this woman to cater to the codependence of this man. So if you think about in biblical terms, the reason women were created is because Adam, the first man, was codependent. He just couldn't survive on his own. So it says when people, including therapists, think of codependence, they also think woman. But despite this stereotype, most studies find small or no differences between men and women on codependent measures. Some studies even find that men score higher on codependence than women. And they do. When you think about it, perhaps it's unsurprising that there aren't large gender differences in dysfunctional helping and giving. After all, anybody can be set up for codependent relationships by absent, difficult, abusive, or neglectful parents. I'm going to go out on a limb and say men are just naturally codependent. Women are not. If you think about the psyche of women, that women got to take care of other kids, this, that, and the third. We know all of the things women have to go through. Men end up being more codependent. Men need to be in relationships. Men do not. Because there was an article. So there's one that came out on here. No, I don't want to sign up. I hate these things that want you to sign up. hate these things that want to block you. I'm trying to find that article that I had, because there was an article that literally outlined the fact that men need relationships, women don't. And I can't find it. And I know me and Themis were actually, I went over it in a recent video. So why can't I find it? My chats keep stopping. Yeah, Samantha said, I noticed that, which is why men get remarried so fast and women do not remarry half the time. Because men need to be in relationships with women. That's why they don't even men don't even take time to heal. They bounce from one woman to the next woman. And the reason they do that is because men need to be attached to a woman. They need to. Even if you'll see men claiming to be single, they typically have at least one woman that they're attached to in a relationship-like capacity that they call a situationship. We can do that live stream whenever you want to, Themis, but yeah. I need to find that article though. I'm looking at something on Pew Research, but I'm gonna have to find that article. It's already saying a rising share of US adults are living without a spouse or partner. So this is talking about how a lot of people are not interested in marriage. They're not. It's increasing. It says the growth in the single population is driven mainly by the decline in marriage among adults who are at prime working age. At the same time, there has been a rise in the share who are cohabitating, but it hasn't been enough to offset the drop in marriage. Hence the overall decline in partnership. While the unpartnered population includes some adults who were previously married, all of the growth in the unpartnered population since 1990 has come from a rise in the number who have never been married. A lot of people are choosing not to get married. That's why I'm telling Black women, you need a mental software update. Like, I hate the fact that as Black women, we're always late to the party. We're always the ones late to the party. I'm going to keep this for our discussion as well, but I'm trying to find that article. Because this here says, and I'm going to share the screen with y'all, because it's talking about unpartnered and how these trends are affecting men more negatively than women. It says the gaps in economic outcomes between unpartnered and partner adults have widened since 1990. Among men, the gaps are widening because unpartnered men are faring worse than they were in 1990. Among women, however, these gaps have gotten wider because partnered women are faring substantially better than in 1990. Things are affecting men more than they are affecting women. The growing gap in economic success between partnered and unpartnered adults may have consequences for single men who would like to eventually find a partner. In a 2017 Pew Research Center survey, 71% of US adults said being able to support a family financially is very important for a man to be a good spouse or partner. This obviously doesn't include Black women because Black women don't have a standard that you need to be a provider. Other groups of women do. They're basically saying if the man is not a provider, I should not be marrying him. I'm not going to marry a man who can't support a family. So they still largely believe In contrary to what the bandit that I told y'all within my comment section, contrary to what he was saying, most adults still really believe the man needs to be a financial provider. In order for him to be a good spouse or partner, he needs to be a provider. It says similar shares of men and women said this. In contrast, 32% of adults and just 25% of men said this is very important for a woman to be a good spouse or partner. So in order for a woman to be a good spouse or partner, the man needs to be a financial provider. Men don't want to be that, and that's why more women are saying, I don't want to marry you. So I'm gonna keep this, I'm gonna bookmark this because we're gonna need this for our discussion, but I need to find that article. I really do need to find that article. I'm gonna look for it though. I'm definitely gonna look for it. Because yeah, this is affecting men, not women. It's affecting men negatively. Like everything on here that I see is it's talking about, like this Medium article says men need women more than women need men, which they do. And why should I date them? This is an article too. Wait, what happened? Okay, is my stuff still? I'm gonna send it to you. I'm gonna send it to you. It says, I'm sure you've heard the name Paul Dolan before, but in case you haven't, he published a study a few years back that claims that the happiest demographic is single women who never have children. His findings made the rounds in several mainstream publications and other studies. Survey seems to back up this conclusion. At least on the surface, 60% of single women are happy being single. 75% aren't looking for a relationship. 70% of divorce initiated by women. So they're giving you, I'm going to keep this one too. And I'm going to do more research on it. This is what I'm saying, that it's like, where is your head at, Black women? I'm going to pull this one too, because it should have some data in there. I don't really care what men want in a relationship, not really. I don't really care, but I'm going to do the research and I'm going to send these articles. Some people sent me, I'm going to do the research really quickly. I'm going to look through here and grab other links to studies. Watch them say they think women have too high standards. A recent Pew Research study has found that 63% of men under 30 describe themselves as single compared to 34% of women in the same age bracket. See, bandits are always talking about dying alone, and it's them. It's them. Y'all, I'm about to jump off of here, though. Yeah, because this do have the article that says most young men are single, most young women are not. A screenshot of that article that went viral because, well, those numbers don't really make much sense. So let me look at this. This Heal article will probably have it. Yeah, we're going to do a live stream on it. Yep, most young men are single. Most young women are not, and it will tell you why they're not. Young men commit self-toe tagging at 4 times the rate of young women. Younger men are largely responsible for the rising rates of mass shootings. So they're okay. So yeah, I'm gonna wrap this live stream up because it is past 7. So I'm gonna go ahead and jump off of here. But we can do a live stream here on Patreon if y'all want to. We can do one on the dating trends, why women don't need men, how women's standards are causing men to be single, because that's largely what it is. The root cause of the issue is that women are starting to have standards. Not Black women largely, but women are starting to have standards. One of those standards being that they still expect the man to be the provider largely. Men cannot meet patriarchal standards that they set for themselves. So this is kind of likened to people of no color creating an IQ test that they can't pass. Much like how they created that, because when they first created the IQ test, people of no color couldn't pass it. Okay, they had to keep making it. They had to keep making a version of the IQ test for white people to pass. Just like they initially did that, they made a set of patriarchal rules that men can't apparently meet or live up to. They can't. They just can't. They cannot. They can't. And that's one of the issues here. But you guys, I'm getting a headache, so I'm pretty sure there's an epidemic of loneliness among young men. Yeah, Themis, I'm finding the articles. I'm going to send them to you. Yep, Psychology Today, what's behind the rise of single lone men. Younger and middle-aged men are the loneliest they've been in generations, and it's probably getting a lot worse. So I think I'm finding the articles that we need. I'll email them to you, Themis. I'm about to jump off though, y'all, because I'm getting a headache. So I'm going to jump off of here. The men are definitely struggling, and me and Themis are going to do a live stream talking about how the men are struggling, because this will help Black women specifically to combat the notion that you are going to die alone. In reality, these men are headed for dying alone. They're dying alone. You're not, because you don't need a relationship. You're not codependent on relationship with men. Men are codependent on relationships with you. But I'm going to end the live stream. I'll see you guys in the next video. I hope you have, hopefully some of y'all, if y'all are on Instagram, go on Instagram and send me a follower request. I do be in the blogs playing in dust. So if y'all want to get in there and play in dust with me, y'all can. But I will see y'all in the next live stream, and me and Themis will be soon. We haven't scheduled it yet, but we will be talking about this rise in lonely men and why men are projected to be dying alone. So you guys have a good rest.